Anessa, and I work as an adult services librarian at the Ames Public Library.
And I'm Alissa, and I work as the resource services manager at the Ames Public Library.
We're here to give you some recommendations for our third annual 12 to Try Reading Challenge. For the month of September, the challenge is a book from our book club collection. Stay tuned for our suggestions or come to the library and check out our display promoting the challenge. What's your first book, Alissa?
My first book is Mary Roach's latest, Fuzz, When Nature Breaks the Law. And if you've ever read any of Mary Roach's books, it's very similar to that. It humorously explores the conflicts arising when wild animals, following their wild animal instincts, clash with human society, who are more than likely invading their turf in the first place. From bears breaking into homes in Colorado to, she talks about elephants trampling crops in India, and gulls disrupting Pope events at the Vatican. With her characteristic blend of scientific inquiry and wit, she explores efforts that wildlife managers, forensic investigators, and just everyday community members go through trying to mitigate these issues. And she highlights some of the often absurd and kind of tragic outcomes, looking at both historic and modern solutions to animals and humans interacting. Talking even, with nature, we're talking about danger tree removal, which is trees that are starting to die and have a tendency to drop branches and just randomly kill people. She also goes into the scientific side with genetic pest control and even covers medieval animal trials. So it has a little bit of everything. But ultimately, in her book, she suggests that human expansion into wildlife habitats often instigate these conflicts, and she advocates for a little more compassion and understanding and creating approaches to coexistence. She realizes that they are often complex and comical challenges that we face with the intersection of human civilization and the natural world. I really like her stuff. I highly recommend it, and if you haven't read any of her other books, I highly recommend going back and reading Bonk and Stiff and
I have read her other books, and I wonder if this particular book is also one that you should not read on a full stomach.
Well, it's not gory, but it's also,
Well, sounds like a really good time.
I highly recommend it. What is your first book club book?
So my first recommendation is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. John Green, of course, is most famous for his young adult novels, but he also has a podcast called The Anthropocene Reviewed. And in each episode, he picks anything, ranging from scratch and sniff stickers to the Lascaux cave paintings or sycamore trees, and he reviews it on a 5-star scale as if he were giving it a Yelp review. This particular book is a collection of some of the best of his reviews from that podcast, together with some new ones that he wrote specifically for this book. Each essay is thoughtful and personal and funny and meditative and surprisingly personal and vulnerable. It isn't sarcastic or cynical, but rather refreshingly hopeful and full of wonder. It really invites you to consider the world in a new way and to explore connection and hope and some of the unexpected joys of everyday objects. I also highly recommend it as an audiobook because it is read by the author and he does a fantastic job of really capturing the tone of the essays, and his humor really brings them to life. If you like it, you could also try the book Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari.
I will have to add the podcast to my list and listen to that because it's out of the loop on podcasts.
It's a really good time, and it's also an excellent book if you don't want something that you have to
read the whole thing.
Because you can just consume it in chunks.
Yeah, that's kind of like with this one too, that each chapter is a little bit different, but I'm fascinated about the scratch and sniff stickers because my scratch and sniff stickers that I have from like 40 years ago still smell, so I'm not sure what's up with
Yeah,
that.
he talks about why that is actually.
Good, because I need to know, or something.
All right, so what's your next book?
My next book is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, and this is a great Gothic horror novel set in the post-Mexican War for Independence in Mexico. And it's about Beatrice. She is forced to marry a wealthy husband after her father's execution, despite rumors about his first wife's death. It's good Gothic horror. Upon arriving at the Hacienda San Isidros, Beatrice is terrorized by a malevolent spirit. And none of the other people offer help. Her new husband, his sister, they're all just kind of isolating her. Her only ally is Padre Andres, an unconventional priest with his own secret magical abilities. And together, both of them investigate the Hacienda's dark history, the family secrets, and of course, a forbidden romance also develops. So we've got horror and a little bit of romance, and it's just, I really like this book. They have to confront a vengeful ghost, but just also the dangers of, the set in the post-Mexican War for Independence, just that political navigation. And they uncover the truth behind the hauntings, the tragic past of the estate, and just the power dynamics and violence involved in the whole situation. It blends, it does a great job at blending supernatural suspense with themes of colonialism and the plight of women and just, some of the issues at the time, and, it's still current face. I really like her writing, and I really like this book, so.
Sounds deliciously creepy.
It is. It's a fun read. So what is your second rec?
Well, I'm a huge fan of Lisa C., so I went with The Island of the Sea Women. It tells the story of two childhood friends who are growing up together on Jeju Island and the way that they eventually grow apart. Off the coast of Korea, Jeju is the home of the Haenyeo, female freedivers who collect abalone, octopus, and sea urchin from the seabed as much as 60 feet below the surface. The Haenyeo have created a society where women are the breadwinners and their husbands stay home with the kids. And C's explanation of and portrayal of this society is just absolutely fascinating. It's meticulously researched and all through the eyes of these two women. The book is really a massive saga that covers like the whole lives of these two friends, lives that witness really extraordinary historical change. The two witness the occupation of Korea by Japan as well as the Korean War. The characters are really richly drawn and their struggles and perspectives like really draw you in. And the descriptions of the island, of the sea, of the work of the Haenyeo is like really detailed, and it was absolutely fascinating to me to read about a life so different from my own. It's a really vivid, really detailed, and really intensely human work of historical fiction. And if you like it, the author also has a number of other great historical fiction books, including The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane, which I also really enjoyed.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's so different from Iowa.
Yeah, it is a lot different. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you all for joining us today, and don't forget to come to the library if you want any more recommendations for our 12 to Try challenge.